All right, so welcome to Built with Grit. I'm your host and strategic partner in cost reduction, Luis Fernandez, and today we are joined by Vincent Rocco Vargas. But before we
Yo.
get into that, if you are a fan of inspiring people and informative content, then you come to the right place because that's all we do. So with that, Rocco, how you doing, friend?
I'm doing good, man. I had a late night, so I have that morning voice. It's kind of sexy, kind of not.
I can get after it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
it. That's it. My wife loves when I call her in the morning.
Yeah. So one of the things that I always talk about is like every service, every product we buy, everything that we exchange money for, entertainment, whatever. What we fail to sometimes realize is there's a lot of heart behind all of those things. Like, yeah, I'm just buying a sandwich, but behind getting that sandwich to me is an entrepreneur, somebody who took a risk, who put it all out there and put a lot of work and a lot of sweat to make that happen. And the same is, when I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching that Netflix, and you and I were just talking right before this started, and like the like that is probably the most relaxing thing for me, is to just sit there and be like blip blip blip. But behind that, there's a lot of heart and there's a lot of effort in that too.
Yeah,
Um, and so I want to highlight that and bring that out. And honestly, I think you've got a really interesting story too, and chat a little bit about that.
yeah, bro. Whatever you want to talk about, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah. so, so let's back up to you joining the military, and
Yeah,
then kind of the beginning where you got out.
yeah, man. I joined in 2003. I was kicked out of college essentially because I was academically ineligible. What I come to find later on is that I'm dyslexic.
Mm.
I just thought I was a dumb fucking dude. Straight up, like I was like, okay, this whole reading thing ain't for me, dog. But it was years in the making of me finally putting two and two together, and then my mom feeling bad about it, like I wish I got you help when you need it early, is like
Mm.
because I wouldn't have had all these struggles. But so reading is a big struggle of mine, and I was able to kind of hide that for many years, and then I got a full ride to a Kentucky college, and man, they weren't playing. It was a Catholic college, so it was ran by priests and nuns, which already was like, dang, this. Come on, Emma, this is a little bit. But
Yeah.
then they weren't sure. Come on, mom.
Hi,
My mom.
mom.
Hi, mom.
Hi, mom.
She's- I love you, mom. No, I'm good, thank you. She's trying to hide from the camera. Thanks, mom. Uh, she's so funny. I'm actually staying in the house I grew up in as a kid
Mm.
when I come
That's
to L,
awesome.
when I come to LA. So it's actually becoming an actor. We'll fast forward later. It has brought me closer to my family.
Hmm.
But yeah, dude. So I get to college that they weren't playing around, dude. It didn't matter how good I was at baseball. They weren't. I gotta clean that off. That's work stuff. But I tell you, we just got off a couple hours ago. But yeah, dude. So they weren't playing around. Most places I went to school knew I was good at baseball, and they kind of, C's would get degrees, man. As long as I showed up every day, I got passed. And
It's C is for
this,
complete.
bro, it's done. So this school it wasn't having that, and so I ended up losing my scholarship. And my parents couldn't afford me going to college either way, right? So they're both working their butts off, just trying to get life going. And I had to join the military at that point. I had a daughter.
Hmm.
She was just born, probably 2 months prior. And it was kind of this moment. I'm working at Texas Roadhouse. I work in the morning because I had nothing else to do, so I'm working full time, nothing to do. So I work in the morning as a cook prep. I work in the back of the house, and then I change shirts and clothes, and go to the front of the house and be a waiter. And I'm just stacking money.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do at this time. Just kind of like, we'll just make money and we'll figure it out. But at night we'd go to the bar, and it's like this kind of country town where everyone knows your name. And I walk in, hey, I'll take the regular and then sit down and watch some TV. And I'm BSing with a Navy dude who was in the Navy probably 15 years prior, right? And we're watching the war on TV, and it was kind of like this moment of, okay, you're in Kentucky, you have a daughter in California who was just born to a mother that we weren't dating anymore. It was just not a thing, right?
Mm.
I lost everything I've ever had, which was baseball. Like the first and second love of my life has been baseball, you
Mm.
know? And it was that moment like, what the fuck am I going to do with myself? I don't know if I was ever good at anything, dog, besides throwing a fastball and freaking hitting a home run, right? Like, genuinely was built for that game. I love it. I still to
Yeah.
this day have such a passion for it, but then become to be 22 years old and not sure what's next was a scary time for me, dude. Um, it was then when I saw this soldier getting, it was a Marine. He put an American flag over the Saddam statue and they pulled it down his unit. Do you remember
Mm.
that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such it's such an iconic moment for all of us. We remember that scene. I was sitting at a bar watching this and seeing the family like crying. They interviewed the family. The family's all proud of this motherfucker. And I was like,
Mhm.
damn, my family ain't never been like that with me. I've never seen tears of joy from anybody in my world. So I knew, I was like, okay, let's just do the military thing. And that's the first step towards that direction, man.
So did you watch the Marine thing? So um, I was in college on 9/11. So I almost dropped out of college to enlist. It was my sophomore year, and my grandfather, he's a Cuban immigrant. So
But
he
you're the
called.
same age as me. You have to
Uh,
be.
yeah, well, I turned 39 in a couple months.
Yeah, I turned 40 in July.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's yeah,
so
because I was the same in college, bro.
all
Same.
right, yeah,
I'm in junior college at the time,
yeah,
and
okay,
yeah,
yeah. And so he called me and he told me the whole story, which I had already heard by that point. If you know anything about the Latino culture, is that you're going to hear the story of your family many times growing up. So, but you still let Grandpa tell his story as many times as he wants to tell it. And so he tells me his story, and he's like, "Do you understand? This is why you can't drop out of college." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "You owe me." Like this is the first time in his life, and he's like, "You owe me." Everything I went through, everything I gave up, all of that was so that you, who I didn't even know when I was doing it, so that you would have this opportunity. He goes, so, you know, do your college, do your thing, then you can go do the army, but you owe me this. Like,
oh,
okay.
that's gorgeous, bro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: I was never fortunate enough to have a coherent conversation with my grandfather. One of them passed before I was old enough to really know him. The other one didn't speak a lot of English. At the same time, he was an alcoholic,
Mhm.
so it's like I saw him say, "I mijo, I love you so much," and then he'd go to his room, roll a joint, and drink beer, right? You know what I mean? So we never were at the point where we had these like philosophical conversations. You know what I'm saying? And so I mean, that's such a gorgeous moment for you, dude, and
Yeah.
fucking cherish that. But I mean, I know my family's history, and that when we fast forward this conversation, it will get to a point where everything I did was to respect my grandmother coming to America for that belief of the opportunity, dog, right? Like, so yeah, the military really was for me to try and figure out what's in it for me. My parents actually didn't want me to, right? Like they're like, oh, whoa, I don't know, hey, I don't think it's bad time for that right now. Like you, you, you can do anything else.
Your timing sucks.
And it's like, oh, we're going to war. They're like, no, it can be anything. I'm like, nah, dog. I need to do something different.
Well,
And
and meanwhile, I'm thinking, like, I really hope I don't miss it. Because I couldn't graduate till 2004. And I saw that same video of the statue coming down. I was like, dang, I just missed the war. After
bro,
all that, I just missed the war.
same conversation, dude. So I sat there at that bar. I was sitting there. This is no joke. What I thought about, I was like, okay, this would be good for my kid because I could give her money that I don't have, right? And if I die, I'm a hero, right? Because it genuinely was at that point in my life where, bro,
Oh man.
without baseball, I didn't know I was worthless in my heart. In my heart, bro, the hardest transition I've ever had was losing baseball because it still haunts me,
Man.
dog. It's still, and so I was like, well, if I get smoked, well, then I'm a hero for her. Good. And she gets money. Good. And then I'm like, and then my parents will be proud. So it was genuinely, I went there, said, what's the hardest thing you have? They were like, well, special operations. I was like, okay, cool. I went and did that little test. I showed up and I got a 108. There was no 2-point waiver at the time, so I couldn't go as special forces. So I had to go Ranger. I didn't even know what the hell Ranger was. I thought I was the only Ranger in the Army. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, cool. I'll take that. Let's go. You know? And these guys like, you sure you could do it? They took me to go play basketball one day, and they were the most unathletic motherfuckers I ever met. And I was like, yeah, I could do it. I could trust me. Trust me. I don't know how you guys got in the military, but I'm good.
So when'd you go to Ranger school?
So the contract I signed was a Ranger contract, which now is called an option 40 for those listening. If they're ever interested, that's the contract you want. That's to give you airborne and a Ranger selection option, right? So we have to go to what I went through is called RIP, Ranger Indoctrinal Program, which is now called Ranger Assessment Selection Program. Yeah. And so you get through that selection first, bro. And then you get to battalion, and then you got to earn your spot for Ranger School. I eventually went to Ranger School in 2005. After a couple deployments, I turned it down so I can go to my second deployment to Iraq. Okay. And then after I come back from Iraq, boom, I hit it.
Okay. So I went in, I started in September of 2004. And I graduated in December. So
a couple of speed bumps.
Yeah, I have one in mountains. I had to redo mountains.
Dog, I showed up to mountains and I saw one of my Ranger buddies there, and he's just like looked like depleted and sad. He just got recycled. I got off the bus. I'm like, "What's up, dog?"
The same thing happened to me. I essentially got recycled in mountains in one morning. I was made the medic. And I was a saw gunner before, and I go to the new squad leader, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I need you to take this stuff and tie it down. I got to tie all this stuff down that the medics got to tie down." So I had a Claymore, an AT4, and like 800 rounds of saw ammunition, and I go and I start tying stuff down.
Bro, wait, you graduated what year?
In December of 2004.
Ooh, that was close, because I graduated December 2005. I was about to say, what if we were in the same damn Ranger class, dog? Go ahead.
So I'm over here and I'm tying stuff down. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is gonna have language in it. This podcast. So
yeah, sorry.
Can't tell this story without using the F word. So there's your fair warning. If you got kids or whatever, you can stop it now. So I'm sitting there and I'm tying this down, and I hear, "Who the fuck shit is this?" Right, like this RI voice. You know? And so I turn and I look at the instructor. And he's pointing at the ground at a Claymore, an AT4, and 800 rounds of saw ammunition.
Oh.
God. So I look at it, and then I look at the guy who's the new squad leader. And it was like we had this silent conversation, you know, like the How I Met Your Mother. Well, I was like, "Bitch, I gave that to you." And he's like, "I ain't fucking saying shit." I was like, "If you don't say shit, we're all going to get smoked." I'm like, "Fuck it. We'll all get smoked. I ain't taking," you know, it was like this like silence. And finally I was like, "That's mine, Sergeant." He's like, "Ooh, Ranger, we just leave our shit all over the woods, huh? Hey, everybody, cut your shit off. Just leave your shit. It's not mine, right? Who gives a fuck?" And then he like grabs up the ammo. He's like, "We don't need this to fight." And he like throws it up in the air, you know. So like, this is how, right?
Yeah.
So I'm running.
And you're sitting there like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're done. You know it.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
so
you shouldn't have had integrity. You should have had the thing called integrity.
I should have said it. So like I go over there and I grab this stuff, right? And I bring it over to my stuff and I'm tying it down. And while I'm doing this dude is still yelling at me, right? I'm trying to just like zone it out and do what I need to do, tie this stuff down, you know. And I hear, while he's yelling at me, I hear, "Who's the goddamn Band-Aid bitch?" I'm like, I guess that's technically me. I mean, I've been the medic for about 5 minutes, but yeah, that's me. So I was like, "That's me, Sergeant. Get over here, dig this slit trench. This motherfucker's not big enough to be a goddamn cat hole." You know, so that got one dude yelling at me, the other dude yelling at me. Like, it's just fucking chaos, right? I grab my E-tool and I take like 4 or 5 steps. And then I realized that I had taken my LCE off to tie everything down. So I left my weapon on the ground. And as soon as I stopped, it was like RI homing beacon, right? Like, "Where's your weapon, Ranger?"
You're like, "Bro, it was an avalanche, dog."
Yeah, so I like walk over there. I'm putting my shit. Now I'm moving slow. Like, that's it, right? Like,
yeah.
I got nothing left, right? So I'm putting my shit on. He goes, "Ranger, what was it he said? That's 4 major minuses in a 5-minute time span."
Oh.
And I looked at him and I was like, "4, Sergeant?" He goes, "Yes, motherfucker." And he points at the Claymore. 1, points at the AT4. 2, points at the saw ammunition. 3, points at the weapon. 4, you want another one? Negative, Sergeant. So here we are. I'm in the middle of the first field exercise. I know I'm recycling this phase.
Yeah.
Like I'm halfway through, and I know that everything I do from here on out, unless like I somehow managed to get a
Oh,
major
they know
plus.
you now, bro. They know you
Yeah,
now.
yeah, they got
I
my.
would I would have just dug that slit trench through the fucking rifle in there, threw everything in, shit on it. I'll see you next month, motherfuckers. You can't win right now, man.
So yeah,
Damn.
it took me a little while to get out of there, to get out of Ranger School, and
I got real lucky in Ranger School, man. I got real
straight
lucky.
through.
Yeah, straight through. I had a really serious injury as well, but like that dude I told you, his name's Adam Begg. Shout out to that dude. He's just my boy, man. But him and a kid named Smallwood, they really just. I got brachial plexus nerve damage in the first phase of mountains. So I fell on one of the patrols, and like my rucksack caught onto a branch as I'm going head first. My
Yeah.
rucksack hit a branch. Boom! I went back this way, and I felt my neck just pinch bad. I still have neck problems from this. It's funny, but I was like,
Not service related.
yeah, bro. Yeah, right. Like, no, you just got a big ass chin, bro. But, but dog, I woke up in the morning like, dude, I don't feel hot, man. My whole arm was dead. It was dead for 1 year, bro. It took us to do physical therapy, and we weren't sure if we were ever gonna get it back. You're so malnutrition, right? You're so weak, and the nerves were so easy to break at that time, and they sever themselves just from the compression of it. And I had no idea, but my arm was dead. Besides, I could do this with my fingers, right? And so I can pinch with my fingers, but I couldn't bring my arm up. And it was like so by the time I graduated mountains, this whole thing, the muscle had completely atrophied, and it was just dead. And I had ranger buddies who were just, bro, we were tying rucksacks to me. We were doing everything we can just so we can keep it looking like I'm good to go.
Wow.
And it was a blessing, man, to have. I mean, man, Ranger School is not about you. It's about your Ranger buddies picking you up. Like, they earn the tab for you, and you earn it for them. And so, we kept pushing forward, man. Nobody wanted to get recycled. You know that.
How the hell did you make it through Florida?
Oh, it was wild, dog. I fell into that river a few times on the fucking movements, and they were like, "What's wrong with you, Ranger?" It's like, man, I can't bob and weave like everyone else can, dog. I swear. I wish Adam Begg was here, bro, because there's several times. One time I tripped in the swamp and my head went down first, and I couldn't get up, and I thought, I was like, okay, this is where I die. And this dude comes out of nowhere and pulls me out of the freaking puddle of water that I'm drowning in because I had no arm strength to pull myself out. Like, I swear these dudes earned it for me.
Wow.
And I was lucky, right? I got distinguished honor graduate. I got the William O. Darby Award.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And it was just, you pissed people off the least, and somehow, they didn't pay attention to me too often.
They had my fucking number.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid, dude. Trust me.
Yeah, 5'10" was known. By the time I got to Florida, they're like, "Oh, 5'10, we know about you." I was like,
yeah,
it's gonna suck.
I had an officer that recycled from Florida phase day one, and we were on our last mission, bro. This is a true story. This is the craziest thing. We were on our last mission. We know we're done. And you're just clearing through this open field, turn around to come back, right?
Yeah.
And then pop. And I was like, I just started running like, they ain't putting that one on me, dog. And I just ran. And he's standing there with his hands like, bro, he recycled day one from Florida, and he's in the last day of Florida, and he AD'd, dog.
Oh.
I would have never had rounds with me if I was that dude. I would have been like, cool, throw these out. Like, nothing stopping me. This
They
dude,
caught him?
Yeah, bro. He confessed. He broke. As soon as it happened, it broke him. It broke me, but I still was running. I'm like, they ain't putting this one on me, dog. But I look back and I was like, wow, the luck of that dude. I don't know if I would have had it in me to recycle that long. It's day one. Ooh.
No, I met a guy that was like that. He said he was going to PCS to Ranger School. He got a day one because he shot a civilian in that last mission in Florida. Yeah, he was a bat boy. Yeah, so he wasn't quitting, right?
No, you can't. Or else you're done. They'll kill you. They'll kick you out.
Yeah. So he he got day one at the end of Florida, and I met him. He was a mountains recycle when I met him, and we recycled mountains together again. And yeah, that kid did
Yeah.
not. He did not quit. And I don't know. I don't remember if he got kicked out or something after his. Because I don't remember him graduating with us.
The Army's just like, we're still paying this dude.
Yeah. He's been in school 6 months.
Yeah, are you sure he's not an instructor right now?
Like, and sometimes you want to like, how are you still alive? Like,
Bro, that's some balls. Hey, kudos to the dudes who've been there for 6 months and get it. That's beautiful because I
yeah,
couldn't do it.
no. Well, I know at the same time, he's like, I'll die. They'll have to kick me out or I'll die. Like,
That's beautiful.
like that's just his decision. Like, man, this is
Part of
it.
me is like, it wasn't that. It's important, but it's not. Or it's like I want to go do the job. Like I
Yeah,
loved deploying. I loved being with my people, man. It was
yeah.
just I couldn't get my NCO position without it in Ranger Battalion.
Mm. Yeah. So you went back. So okay, let's get back to the story because I'm still interested in this. So you did 2 deployments. Were they both to Iraq?
No, one was Afghanistan, one was Iraq.
Okay. And what range battalion were you with?
Second, Fort Lewis.
Okay. All right. So you go back to Fort Lewis after Ranger School in December 05.
Yeah.
All right. And then where'd you guys go after that?
Yeah, we ended the last deployment was Afghanistan, which was a pretty good trip.
Where'd you go?
We kind of stage in Salerno. We stage in Salerno and Bagram, and we kind of take missions all over from there.
What time? When was that?
2007, from somewhere around February-ish.
Oh, dude, we just missed each other.
Yeah.
I was in Salerno 0506.
Oh yeah, we just missed each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In between that.
Chapman?
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah, all that whole area. You know how it is with us though. Like, there's some stuff that's still considered classified. I ain't trying to get my pee smacked, but we're in the area.
Yeah, in the area.
Yeah, I still have a lot of friends in that world who just like shut up. Like, yeah. I graduated Ranger School, and I would love the opportunity to even say this, December 16, 2005, and it's actually the 1-year anniversary date of the death of one of my good friends, Devin Piguero. He was killed in training in a really just unfortunate incident that got about 6 or 7 people kicked out of the unit, and some serious stuff went down. I still don't know to this day what happened, but it's like we train hard, bro. We train hard in Ranger Battalion, and you have these live round iterations, and someone wasn't doing their job. It just breaks down to that. Someone wasn't doing their job. They weren't paying attention, range safety officer or the range NCO. And one of our targets kept moving as it was engaged every iteration. And eventually it goes to a point where it's lined up what they call a hot wall, where it goes through the wall. And he was on the other side pulling security, right? He cleared his room. He found a job. He's pulling security, and he was killed in training. And so something that's always kind of stuck with me, and a big motivation for me in Ranger School was the fact that I knew the graduation date if I went straight through. I knew it was December 16, 2005. And I was like, that's a 1-year anniversary date. And I wore his bracelet throughout the whole thing, because it was one of my close friends from basic training, airborne. Like we'd be in airborne trying to piss off these NCOs to smoke us, because I was like, bro, we ain't ready for rip. We need to get fucked up, right? They need to make me do push-ups, dog, like all day, every day. And so people get annoyed with us, bro. They're like, you guys are too immature for Ranger Battalion. Like, no, we're not, bro. We're trying to get smoked on purpose. Like, we need,
Yeah.
And he was just a beautiful soul, man. And little issues that happened here and there. They finally got the battalion when I got back from Afghanistan, and we were supposed to have a dinner, and that was the first time as a grown ass man I cried for anything. As a grown man, I didn't even cry during kids, nothing. It wasn't like that. I didn't have that emotional button, right? I think our parents kind of raised us, our dads raised us to be the very machismo attitude in the Latino community, right? And if you cried or showed emotion, you weren't as manly as the men before them,
Right.
And I don't necessarily agree with that anymore, right? My son, I tell him otherwise. All right, I tell him, I said, bro, it's cool to cry, dog, but you better cry for a reason, right? Like, let me know why, right?
Yeah.
And then I can try and hug up on the dude, right?
Yeah.
But I remember holding it all in, and people would give me hugs and telling me like, bro, I'm sorry. And I was like, dog, I guess I couldn't believe it, right?
Yeah.
And then when I got home, it started to settle, and I felt it boiling in me. I felt this feeling of like I couldn't control what was happening to my body, and I didn't understand it. And I couldn't get the key in the fucking door to open it. And when I finally did, I genuinely just fell to my knees and just started crying.
Mm.
And I remember hearing the cry come out of me, and I couldn't even recognize my own cry because I just didn't do it. You know, I was like, is that? It's kind of like, damn, that's a punk ass cry. Yeah. Like genuinely was like, that's a weird noise. Yeah. And it was like high pitched, and I was like, man, but I've never heard myself get there, dog.
Yeah.
Like that kind of hurt cry, it didn't exist in me at the time, bro.
Mm.
And so I was hearing myself, and I remember my wife at the time coming around the corner, like, what's wrong? And I said, that call we had that night, we had a call that night. It was just so we were sleeping. And
Mm.
I was like, it was Devin, who she was cooking dinner for him to come over and meet. Bro, it was this thing that just kind of stuck with me, bro. And so when I knew the Ranger date of my graduation was the anniversary date of his death, it really was a big motivation factor for me. Like, don't F this up, dog. Like, you got a chance to do something for him,
Mm.
like earn this together,
Yeah.
and that's really what that was for me. And then fast forward in 2000, when I was injured because of my injury, they sent me to a language course. And when I got back from the language course, they didn't allow me to deploy. I fought it, and the PA just said, no, just stay home. We'll find other things for you to do. They sent me to a language course. By the time the dudes got back, well, they didn't get back yet. 2 weeks before they got back, we got a call. We lost 2 dudes. And this is the one I'm wearing now. Sergeant Barraza is the one I wear on the Mayans MC show every day. He was probably the biggest mentor in my military career. And now I'm packing up his stuff, and I'm going with his body to Bakersfield and to lay him to rest. And so big impacts, right? These are the big impacts from my military career that has continued to kind of push me where I'm at today.
I think folks don't realize that, as a veteran, you're going to celebrate Memorial Day more than once a year.
Yeah, that's probably what almost killed me too, right? That's I'm sober now, almost a little bit more than 2 years now, because
Congratulations.
thank you. I wanted to find a different way to appreciate my brothers. So it's just how it is, bro. It wasn't healthy anymore for the way I was doing it. Actually, it was kind of compiling more guilt on top of guilt, and I wasn't dealing with it. And so, I'm learning now more and more how important healing is from previous traumas instead of compiling it under more trauma.
No, it's rough, and I think I got my first taste of it within inside of the first year. I was at airborne school, and one of the girls in my chop, she had a cigar roll, no lift, and I was on the drop zone. You know how they sit on the horn, and they're like, check canopy, check canopy, check canopy, gain canopy control, right? So he's doing that thing, and I hear him check pulley reserve, pulley reserve, pulley reserve. And I just kind of looked up, and she was this young 18-year-old private that was in my chalk. I was her chalk leader, and I watched her bounce,
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this is real, and so I graduated in June of 2004, and I was in Afghanistan in March of 2005. So it was less than a year.
Bro, you are not far from me, dude. Yeah, you are not far from me. That's
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying, we were like right next to each other in
Yeah.
the same locations. And then in Afghanistan, we were on the FPAC border down there in the south, so Salerno South. So there's like the Coast Bowl, and then it kind of jettisons straight down, right? And that straight down portion, that's what we had. Laura was the base. Camp Tillman. We were out of Camp Tillman.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was what's his name? Gosh, I can't remember his name now. Outlaw Platoon. He wrote that book. He ran for Congress recently. He's been on Jocko's podcast.
You're talking about Crenshaw?
No, not Crenshaw. Anyway, he wrote the book Outlaw Platoon. His unit his unit replaced us out there.
Okay.
Um, we just haven't had any blockbuster books out of it yet. But
Yeah.
you're there, and in the first few weeks, you get into that first firefight, and like, okay, guess who's not immortal? Me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. It's funny because like all the balls I had just to join, saying fuck it, and then you're like, nah, man. I realized I was good at the military, but then I also realized I could be good at anything. It was kind of that recollection of like, or the recognition of like, okay, anything I put my mind to, I could be pretty decent at, But I didn't know that. I only did one thing. I only played baseball.
Yeah.
So when I got to the military, I started hearing people call me like, "Man, you're a stud," or all these weird like people knew that I was good at it, but I didn't. It was this thing, bro. I was 22 years old joining 22 years old joining, like I was much more mature than everybody. I already had a kid. I just, I bought a little house. I was like on a different mindset of this whole thing. And so I had people just kind of drawn to me as a leader, and it was like, man, maybe I'm good at this too. You know what I'm saying? And then it kind of started like when I started losing dudes, I was like, a lot of these guys wanted to get out and do something cool outside. And so,
That's the worst, man.
yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get out and try and do something too, and
Yeah.
it took a minute to figure that all out. But
So when did you decide that you were getting out?
in 2007, pretty much before that last deployment of mine, I knew my heart wasn't in it no more. I thought a lot about the whole Barraza and Brim situation and dealing with their families, and how much that kind of broke me off too. It kind of messed me up a little to watch, how hurt the families were. And I expected, I just never seen it, to that effect. And I think I kind of lost the want for it anymore. And then thinking about my kids and how like, oh man, it'd be really cool to watch my kids grow up, and am I making all the right decisions? And so by the time that last deployment was done, I knew I was packing up and heading out. I just didn't know what, but yeah, I knew my heart wasn't in it anymore.
So did you have, let's talk a little bit about that transition time
Yeah.
from military to civilian. And I don't know about you, I totally underestimated how difficult that was going to be. Like, I looked at myself and I was like, oh, I'm an officer. I've got, I speak 4 languages. I've been MI. I got a top secret clearance. Like, this can be cake. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. It's multiple levels of it's really the psychology of it is what I think what messed me up more than anything, right? Like, look, man, I had kids and I was very fortunate to have some kind of motivation to keep the lights on, right? So like staying actively moving was very healthy, but it didn't, I still came home and I drank. I still came home and was unhappy. I still came home and wanted a different life. I hated everything around me.
Mm.
I was at the point where I had a really big ego being an Army Ranger, right? Like people are like, "Oh, John, he was in the military too," and I was like, "Oh yeah, what did he do?" Like he was a tanker. I'm like, "Fuck that dude," you know what I mean? Like I was mad at anyone that wasn't, an infantry dude. It was this weird thing. I went to my wife at the time wanted me to go to counseling, and I'm sitting in a circle full of fucking dudes I couldn't stand because I felt like they were full of shit, right? Like
Mm.
I didn't have that empathy for anyone outside of my world.
Mm.
I really hated everyone because I was like, like I really felt it was this weird thing. I lived so much and I was so indoctrinated in being an Army Ranger that everyone else was like worthless to me. And it was this, and that's the truth. Like most people probably wouldn't say that, but I'm saying like, yeah, I got out and I was a douche about it all, right? Because I was super proud of what I've done. I was super proud of how hard I pushed myself, and anyone who wasn't in that same mindset, I was like, fuck out of here, right? It was this weird thing, but it was really quick. Like I got humbled because you started to feel really alone. There's no one around me that gets me is what I started doing. And I was super unhappy and I couldn't figure that out, right? I couldn't get out of that funk of like, what am I doing? Like, this is worthless. I fought fires. I hated it. I walked away. I worked at a prison. I applied for the border patrol right away. It was just, I couldn't find complacency. And wasn't more like job, like satisfaction. It was more like personal, just satisfaction in life. Like there's no passion in what I do. existing to pay the bills, and that is in itself is draining,
Hmm.
and so
Certainly a lot.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
after 2 years of working at the prison and just hating my life, as much as I loved the people at the prison, I got to know these people, and I loved the concept of prison. But being a prison guard was it drained me as much emotionally and psychologically. Got into a couple fights with some inmates. It's just a weird thing. And then I got into the border patrol, and that's where I really realized a lot of my issues were really coming to light. I was having these post traumatic stress episodes of daydreams, right? These weird I would like pause, and I'm imagining I'm back in Afghanistan, and what's a good position right now for cover concealment, and I'd go sit behind a fucking wall down, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. And realizing like I'm actually doing this, bro. I didn't just think it. I'm sitting here crawling to this like space and like putting up against it and imagining I'm like about to get into a firefight. I'm like, yeah, this is safe. And there's like these moments where you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what is that? And I walk to my car all embarrassed. Like, did anyone see me crawl up against this wall? You know what I mean? Like, and it's just something that overcomes me that I didn't understand and I couldn't control for a while. Like, I really was like, whoa, bro, like something else took hold of me. And it's like the subconscious of like, where do you need to be safe in time if all of a sudden an ambush happens, right? This weird, like this wargaming that I'm doing, but I'm acting out these actions.
Yeah.
I'm doing this while driving. I thought I got sniped one time, and I'm like, could I still pull the car over if I'm shot in the shoulder? And I'm like, the car's rolling in the intersection, bro. And this weird, my mind was taking me these places that I knew wasn't healthy for me to do. I didn't get it.
Wow. Where
Yeah.
where were you at with border patrol?
When I got hired on the Border Patrol in 2009, I got through all the background and everything else. I started having these little episodes in Afghanistan, because the terrain in Arizona, but the terrain in Arizona very similar to Afghanistan, bro.
And that's exactly why I asked. So I live in Tucson.
Oh, bro, yeah. So I was in Casa Grande area.
Oh, that's right up the street. Yeah,
Right.
that's the first thing when my wife's from here. That's why she wanted to move here. And I remember the first time I came out here and I looked at that the mountains here,
Hmm.
and just the terrain. I was like, this is exactly
Bro,
like
you know the street Ellsworth? It turns into Ironwood.
yes.
That's the street I was on. There was this. I don't know why they started building these
We've been
houses,
like this our whole life.
bro. Bro, I know. There's these houses they started building that look kind of like these Haji style architect, right? Very flat top roofs.
Yeah.
That looks almost like an adobe mud hut.
Yeah.
And that's where I was like looking at it. I'm like, damn, I could get sniped right here. And I remember like I'm like I was slouched over, like foot off the brake and just rolling. And I'm like, oh dude, I can't believe they got me. And I'm like,
It's not funny, but
yeah, right. Now I laugh at it but I'm like, whoa, I was gone.
deep. Yeah.
Dude, so this carried on for years. I still have a few episode things that I deal with, and we're still trying to figure out. But fast forward in the Border Patrol, I'm chasing a known drug smuggler, right? Who we try to apprehend, and he's running. And this funny thing is, a lot of these drug smugglers will be walking for days with 100-pound, pretty much ruck of dope on their back,
Mhm.
and being on the border. So this really crazy thing happened where I'm running, I'm holding an M4, I have night vision on, and I'm running through this Mexico border that this area smelled like feces, right? And burnt trash. And
Very
this
common.
dude smells like an Afghani who the hygiene's different.
Right.
So I could not tell you, is this a squirter, right? In the military term of someone that's running from the objective, who is considered a threat, and rules of engagement deem him fit to get killed.
Right.
I could shoot him in the back and no issues because he's running from the objective.
Right.
Or is he an illegal? And I'm running and doing this, like
Ooh.
multiple times. I almost smoked this dude. And then I finally caught up to him and slammed him, and I ripped off my nods, and I was like, okay, that's dangerous. Like I knew this could send me to prison for a mistake that's up here that
Yeah.
this I couldn't control because all the smells lined up. and everything in textural wise I'm feeling
Yeah.
was Afghanistan, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that was it. I was like, okay,
Whew.
yeah. So the homie, I told him about it. He's like, you need to go to counseling. And so that was really my first attempt at some real counseling one-on-one sessions. And it's really, I think it's kind of pivoted my life in a good direction. And not to say everything was perfect, but I had to finally like accept like, okay, there's still some stuff I'm hung up on.
Mm.
And my mind is always thinking of the threat, and I wanted to I needed to tone that down, and drinking was always involved. And so fortunately, man, that's happening. And at the same time I ran back into Matt. Me and Matt Best were in Second Ranger Battalion
Mm.
together. We stayed in contact here and there. He'd help me with something, I'd help him with something when it comes to like business or whatever. And I get laterally transferred over to El Paso to do some training instructing, and he's there, and we kind of hit it off again. And he's like, bro, would you help me with this new thing I'm doing? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll get in a video, I don't care. I used to always be like a jokester in battalion, so it was kind of natural for me to jump on a video and be a fool with him. And that was the first time I really was surrounded by another ranger who was kind of in the same place as I was. And we kind of needed each other. There was something that's comforting in knowing the homie that you've kicked in a door with was right there with you now. There was this thing it was good and it was bad, right? It was good because we had each other, bad because now we drank together. Right? Like, let's put our pain together.
Like,
And
you're fucked up just like I am.
yeah. So our skeletons are freaking taking shots together, dude. Our demons, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where everything kind of popped off for me, because then Article 15 took off, and I told you I played college baseball, but I also did theater in college, just because it's easy A.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always felt comfortable in front of the camera. I always studied theater and acting. I grew up in LA. It was a very common thing. And so when YouTube popped off, it kind of started the fire in me of trying to do a passion instead of trying to just pay the bills daily.
Right.
I was genuinely, I applied for the Border Patrol because Sergeant Barraza wanted to be a Border Patrol agent. And so I was kind of living his dream for a while because it felt like that was filling voids in me.
Mm.
In the end, it was really not the healthiest choice for me. I should have always been trying to do what I wanted to do, my passion. You know what I mean? So that's what really started me off into the direction you see today.
So I mean, I remember following you guys during that time, by the way. So yeah, I've because this was what, like 2010, 11, somewhere in there.
It was I jumped in, and just as we're getting to 12 to 13. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's when I got out of the Army. So I got out of the Army in 2012, and it was looking to that, I mean, the same exact thing you're talking about, like chip on my shoulder and all that, and looking for that community to fill that void. So Article 15, Ranger Up, that, like, these were all groups and that I followed, and Army WTF moments, right?
Yeah. We started to find community in social media, right? We started to find these like-minded and relatable people, and Article 15 was really that, at a time when there probably wasn't a more relatable group of dudes right at the time. I can tell you right now, I know what we created. I know how important we were to the community at the time, right? You never got to see a group of 3 dudes who genuinely loved each other, like genuinely loved the community around each other, right? The being around each other, drinking, bullshitting, the jokes, and then putting that on film. It was so honest, and then I think that's what drew so many people in, that it was like, holy shit, this is the squad room all over again.
Yeah.
We know these dudes, we are these dudes.
Yeah.
And having me, JT, and Matt, 3 completely different looking and different personality kind of individuals, someone could always relate to one of us. You know what I mean? You're like, I kind of like that JT guy. He's quirky like me. Or I like that Rocco guy. He's like, and so that was this thing that people just were drawn to, and which made so much success. I think it was kind of a needed moment in the veteran community's history. I think it'll be something that we could be very proud of down the road of
Understood.
starting and initiating a lot of veterans to jump towards the entrepreneurial side of things and social media. And there is one backlash to that I felt that people didn't realize, and I felt really, a big reason why I've kind of separated, and I didn't separate from the guys. I went my direction while they continued doing their path, and they've been very successful. But I started getting a lot of emails from veterans and how much we're saving their lives. But I also knew, like, there's so much more that needs to be done, right?
Mhm.
Like, I knew what I was going through. I knew what I had to do, and I was still doing to get myself in a better place, right? And I wanted to do that more. That's why I started getting to speaking engagements, right? I started telling my story of struggle, right? I started doing the short films, and it was because there's another side of what we did. See, young veterans are very impressionable, and we were put in front of their face like the military version of Jackass, right? We really were the varsity boys on the football team at the time, and people looked up to us. And what people, what veterans, young guys didn't get was that we were marketing studs. We were marketing, right? Like,
Mm.
as much as it was honest for us to love each other and be genuine friends, we were selling t-shirts. We were selling a movie. We were
Mhm.
selling whiskey. And in that sense, people took us for face value as these drunken party dudes at 30, right? Or whatever it was, 26, 7, 8, 9, right? And no, we were learning how to manipulate the market and get people excited about a new product and buy the product so we can turn around and kind of live our lives entertaining.
Yeah.
And when people don't realize that and they take our humor for face value, they start to think we're genuinely like that. And then they meet us and like, fuck yeah, let's go do this. You're like, whoa, bro. There's a side of us that is honest. Like, we drink and we had fun together, right? And I think that's what was so honest. But the other side is we are running a business and we're learning how to run a business, right? We're
Mm.
figuring it out as we go. It was a hustle, dude. It was a hustle. It was a grind. There was so much honest business, entrepreneurial studies that we did on the back end that we learned. And most guys just enjoyed the drinking and like the tomfoolery, right? And you're like, there's so much more there, dude. So, like, I just wanted, guys to know that, like, that was a hustle, that was a business, that was a grind. And if you didn't respect that, you missed the point of what we were doing.
Yep.
The point was veterans figured it out.
Yep.
Right? We figured it out and we were hustling that, and if you couldn't respect that and you just thought it was just fun to watch these dudes drink, like, there was a lot of the time my beer can was filled with water, dude. Sorry for you, homie. That's the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool. I was a dad of 4 kids, and I had to go home at some point that night and tuck them in, and then wake up the next day and take them to school.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. Absolutely. And you guys really, I think you opened up, or you were in the front end of something that I've seen, and this essentially what we would call today, if you were in college, they call it content marketing.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you guys were doing and creating, the academic version, I guess, of looking at what this was. So tell me a little bit about um, this leap. So you're in the border patrol, you meet Matt, he's doing this thing. Do you immediately quit? And after that first, like, what point do you say, this is the route I want to take?
Yeah, that was, I mean, me and Matt talked a lot about when was that right time, you know. Um, Remember, I was a federal agent at GS 12, step 4, dog. I was bringing in the money, son, right?
Yeah.
Like for a dude that lived in Texas, I was doing okay, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm on a special operations team where, like, the overtime budget didn't exist. It's whatever you needed to work, you worked, right? And
Yeah.
so I was on the national response team of the Border Patrol. I was on the top special operations team.
Mm.
Okay, they call us SOG. That's what that's what I was. And so to walk away from that was essentially walking away from what I've become all these years. an operator of a sense, right? Of a door kicker, a bad dude going in there and taking out bad dudes. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And so,
A weapon.
yeah, man,
Mhm.
just good at what I do. And I became a medic now for the tactical team. So I'm like the dopest medic in the world right now. In this sense, where it's like, I'm highly trained as being an Army Ranger. Now I'm here being a dope medic, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's go, right? And so it was this cool space to be in, where a lot of guys respected, I guess, my craft of what I brought to the table. and and then this happened with Article 15. So you're like, man, I kind of got the best of both worlds happening right now, but I don't know how to juggle this. It
Mhm.
became, at one point, the paychecks were matching. And that was like,
Mm.
okay, this is an interesting like decision to make. Um, I kind of came to realization like how much I really loved what we were doing, in the sense of I wanted to kind of explore that more. I love the theater aspect of it. We're talking about doing a movie. All these things were kind of brewing, and I'm like excited because I genuinely want to go that route. Right? I wanted to go into the route of making movies and doing that. And my last mission in the Border Patrol was the chase for Matson Sweat. You know, there's a show called Escape from Dunham, or whatever the heck it's called. But the two escaped convicts in New York that were running for the border. Do you remember that?
Mm.
Yeah, so in 2015-ish, I believe it was. Yeah, two escaped convicts escaped from the prison. They manipulated a guard. They were dating her and all this weird stuff. They eventually found a way to sneak out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they escaped for about 7 days. So it's actually probably longer, probably somewhere around 12 days. But we got the call. This is something we do. Anything within the border, of 100 miles of the border, you can call us to go do work.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard they're going towards the border, so we get activated. I just got back from training at Quantico. I just got back from another mission in somewhere else, right? Like I'm on the go.
Mm-hmm.
It was close to July. My daughter's birthday is July 8th. I know that she was going to be gone for the summer because I do a split custody thing. Um, and so I bought, a hula skirt and a freaking coconut bra and a Hawaiian shirt for this beautiful party we were going to throw for her. And now I'm on the road.
Mm.
So I get to New York. We have all our stuff ready. We get our mission brief. It's already about 5 days have passed. If you know the Border Patrol, we work on sign. We try and track by footprints and things like that, right? It's what we do. By the time we get there, like every other freaking agency, just kind of just trample over the whole damn thing. So it took us a minute to kind of get onto the tracks of what we wanted to. We started having these missions, man. We're flying into these islands where we just missed them,
Mm.
right? We go into this abandoned school. We pretty much air assaulted right onto the school. Boom, jumped in there and just missed them. And it kept these near catches, right? And we know they're armed. We know it's gonna be a good day, bro. It's gonna be what we trained for. And it's about 6 days into our work, we kind of came up flat. It was just dry at the moment, and humid weather. It was just pretty rigorous days. Our supervisor said, "Let's take 2 days off. Let's see if some kind of intel. Excuse me. Let's see if some kind of intel pops up, and then we'll jump back on it." Well, those 2 day gap was perfect for me to go home and try and catch my daughter's birthday. So I said, "Sir, you mind if I just jump home real quick, catch his birthday, I turn around, come right back?" He goes, "Yeah." So boom, I flew home, blessed and fortunate enough to be able to celebrate the birthday with my daughter. But I also got a call that day that they ended up getting some intel. They went on a mission, and one of my really good friends engaged one of the guys and killed him. And that broke me, dude. It broke me in a way where like I was finally making a good decision for my kids, but I was making bad decisions for my team.
Mm.
And that was like a hard one to take. And being a medic on a team, people probably don't realize how cherished that position is and how respected that is.
Yeah.
And for me to make a decision to choose family over the boys, I knew it was time for me to hang it up. And so
Mm.
I resigned 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just that moment, man, where my heart was more towards trying to be a good dad, and I was really inspired by what we were doing with Article 15.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Dang. All right. Sorry. Woo. Well, because I could feel it, right? Like I can feel the number of emotions that are all happening at the same time between, there's this, you're excited and you're happy and you're proud of yourself for making the right choice. But at the same time, at the exact same time, you're sad and you're disappointed in yourself because like I wasn't there for them and I kind of wanted to be there. Like I've been working on this, like this is a
Yeah.
big deal. And you kind of like, damn, I missed that. So this is, and it's hard. I don't know. I'm sure people have had that experience of, having these mutually conflicting thoughts and feelings about yourself all at the same time. That's not easy, dude. That's
No,
not easy. And then you make a life altering decision in 14 days.
yeah, man. And it's kind of, I work like that. I'm like, is this the decision you're gonna make? Yes. Boom, done. That's it. Don't go back. That's it. Stop.
So how long did you stick around with Article 15?
Um, you know, at that point, it was all Article 15, and then kind of Range 15 is really what took a lot of our focus.
Mm-hmm.
The business took some hits because of that, but that really was where our focus was making a movie. Once the movie was done, it didn't take long for me to start kind of trickling away and trying to focus on what's best for me. And not like it wasn't the best for me, but I just had a different passion, man. I wanted to start chasing what I believed in, right? Like the threesome of us was cool, but we always had to kind of follow this thing. Like, let's continue to do this the Matt Best and Jared Taylor and Rocco show, and this whole group might not have always been the direction I wanted to go, but it kind of made sense because that's what the team was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love that team, it wasn't fulfilling my heart and passion of what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did Range 15, I thought cool, but I wasn't necessarily proud of the movie. I knew how much of a, like, it's just a movie. It wasn't, I can't sit here and be like, this is something I'm going to hang my hat on for the rest of my life. It's beautiful. No, it's a long version of our YouTube skits, right? And and the sentiment of making a movie was beautiful, right? A bunch of veterans figured it out,
Mm-hmm.
right? But um, I think it's going to always be an iconic little thing in our community because the jokes are just silly, right? They're right up the alley of the dick fart joke freaking
Yeah.
kings. But it really was inspiring to see it, and it made me want to go do more, right? Like you know what? This is just like the beginning of my life in acting. I'm gonna step in and do more. And so I started to head to California. I did some improv comedy with a buddy called Dads and Parks. Those did very well. Could run around first round 2. That did very well again. Those started being put on the movie theaters before the Avengers movies, and people were like hitting me up like, "Oh, bro, you're all over the place." I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude, it's starting to happen." At the same time, I got hit up by a production company that wanted to do a cool reality show on me building guns. I said, cool. So I got the History Channel show going now in the background. And then boom, I'm in LA for an audition for Mayans. And now here we are, season 3, man. Crazy.
So yeah, like blah 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 blah, right? Like
Yeah.
it was, like, oh, just like this, one thing after the other.
It sounds a lot easier. I made it sound a lot easier. It doesn't normally work like that.
So I guess two kind of lessons that for imparting, you've given us one as sort of the the chip on your shoulder thing. That's certainly something I've talked about as well, and finding that community and plugging into finding people to surround yourself with, and I actually talk about that in my first book a lot about doing that. The jump to entrepreneurship and managing that kind of leap, so you're going to have a major, and this is again what I talk about with this grit, right, that we're talking about building with grit. You're taking a risk, and you're jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah.
Right, somebody else packed that chute,
Yeah.
so and that's what you're doing. Somebody who maybe is on the fence right now, they've got a side thing going, and they're thinking about like, what are for you some of the triggers to say, I'm ready to go full time on this?
It's a calculated risk, genuinely calculated. I knew that if I needed to, I can get my job back. At the same time, I also knew that if for some reason I couldn't get my job back. My family would still be good. I
Mhm.
knew that I had contracting in my back pocket, right? I could always go do that. So it was calculated. I would never put myself in a position where the family was going to suffer. So I had enough money put away where I can take this risk and run it. To be honest, my life didn't change until I finally committed to it. Right? Things started falling in my lap when I committed to that. Then it was like boom, 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 and I was like, okay. Once I finally invested in me, bro, like still, I'm amazed by the calls I'm jumping on. Right? Like the calls that I'm getting, it's because I focused on where my heart was and my passion, and the calls that focus and feel like my heart and passion are coming in.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I stay with Article 15 and Black Rifle, I'm cool, and then we continue to do Black Rifle Article 15 stuff. That's cool. That's their world. They love that. I always wanted something slightly different from that, but also I wanted something that I was home as much as I could for my kids. I wanted something that like I just liked. I'm kind of this old soul where I just like doing my thing. Like I like being on Vincent Vargas' timeline, you
Yeah.
know, and
Oh, I feel that so
you
much,
know,
dude.
and, and, and I always get nervous about like working with certain people because I'm like, hey, I'm kind of a dude that wakes up and does what I do, bro. You know what I mean? I'll get up and walk a couple miles and then go have a coffee and a breakfast and then come home and you're barely getting up. And I'm like, cool, I'm good.
Yeah, cafecito,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When me and the boys at Mayans, we go places, it's like, hey, what are you gonna do tomorrow? I was like, I don't know, man, but hit me up later on because I got my own plans. I got my own system, my routine that I do.
Yeah.
I call my wife. I write. I do me, bro. And I needed to be me because me is where I'm most passionate, and you're gonna get the best version of me.
Mm.
And so, as much as the team is a big deal, I think I work better having my own team going in the direction I believed was good. And we're, bro, I'm a man of God as well, and I don't talk about it publicly. But the goal, the really is like I just serve a bigger purpose, and I want to continue to try and do that, bro, where I can turn around and be proud of in the end of the day. And our content was getting super edgy, and I was like, well, I don't want to be my own brakes, is what I tell people. Like, don't be your own brakes. I didn't want to be my own brakes and slow my own career field because I'm having a good time with my dudes. Like, it was a blast, bro. And trust me, I think about it all day long. But there's the professionalism and the businessman in me is like, acting is a business, and I'm going to treat it as such, and I have to really nurture that business.
That's beautiful. Dang, man. That's really nice. That's very well put.
Thank you.
You're, so I guess my second one is just out of curiosity. I did theater in high school,
Beautiful.
and I was pretty good at it actually. I walked into an audition one time and people applauded when I showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about an ego boost, right? For a
Yeah.
17-year-old kid.
So funny.
So another one of my almost not going to colleges is I was going to go to Hollywood, after high school. My dad was like, "What are you, stupid?" Like he's
Yeah. That's my dad. So when I walked away from the border patrol, he's like, what?
So how about somebody that's looking at you and seeing this and seeing the opportunities and the like, and they're say, that sounds like something I'd really be interested in doing and having greater veteran representation in Hollywood. What I mean, is there any advice? What would you
Yeah.
say?
I mean, fuck, it's funny, dude. I'll tell you a pet peeve. Any of you guys listening, if you hit me up and say, hey, I want to be an actor, and then I say, have you got any training? And you say, no, but I know I can do it. I'm going to say you're an asshole. Uh, Imagine walking onto the baseball field and telling Kershaw, hey, bro, I can pitch. You're like, oh, really? Like, yeah, have you ever tried to throw a fastball? No, man, but I know I can do it. That's disrespectful, dude. It's disrespectful. Look, there's very few organically natural actors, but at the same time, everyone trains. We train to go to war. You train before missions. You train before a fight. You can't come into acting and think we just got lucky and anyone can do this job. That's disrespectful. That's slapped me in the face of the career that I've worked my freaking tail off just to get to.
Mm-hmm.
and perfected the craft of the audition, perfected the craft of building my character, perfecting the craft of knowing my process of getting into a scene and ready for it.
Mm,
Like, bro, this is work, dog. And
mm,
people might not see me showing up to classes. People might not see me reading my books and practicing my craft. And so they probably think, oh, Rocco just showed up as an actor. Fuck, I can do it. It's like, dog, that's disrespectful, dude.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? I did college improv 2 years. I was a stage crew in junior high. Okay. So I did stage crew for 2 years in junior high. I learned everything about the stage, the lighting, the sound, the location, stance, position. I freaking filmed already my own videos as a kid. I knew camera. I knew, understood it, right? I got into theater in college and I was doing improv, like, boom, let's hit, tell me what you want. I got you,
Mhm.
right? I've been doing this version and then I did YouTube for however long and I'm understanding how YouTube works, camera positioning, um, um, comedic timing. All this stuff is like I'm learning and soaking in and studying and reading and Googling. Then I get into this, like I start reading these books. Like, bro, this is a lifestyle, dog. You can't just show up here and say, hey, I can do it. Like we all say that. You can't. You have to perfect this craft.
Mm.
And that is like people come up in Hollywood, dog. Am I lucky? You're fucking right I am, dude. Yes. Yes. Right time, right place. But you know what? When I got that opportunity, I was ready.
Yeah, preparation meets opportunity. That's
Yes, dude. So it's this funny thing where like, yeah, a show called Mayans showed up and they're looking for big tattooed dudes. Hey, winner. Winner of the genetic poll, winner of the dumb guy, tattooed his hands and neck and crap. But it worked. This is just a segue, dude. Mayans will not be here forever. I'm still trying, I'm still training and practicing for another role down the road. You know, I have to show people these tattoos don't exist through
Mm.
being raw and real on film. I need people to not see this and imagine me as a bad guy, but see this and imagine me as a human who's gone through stuff, right?
Mm.
This acting stuff is so beautiful and so therapeutic and it's such a craft, man. And some people don't appreciate that. And so I think they're not willing to put in the work. You didn't graduate Ranger School because, yeah, you want to try it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There was something in you said, I need to get this done.
Yeah.
I have to. And you were going to do it. And do what that one guy said, I'm going to do it until they can carry me out of this mother, right?
Yep.
That's how bad you want to you want to be an actor. If you want to be an actor, bro, you're going to do the work.
Hmm.
You're going to train. You're going to study. You're going to put yourself in places. You're going to, bro, this phone right here, you can film a 4K movie at any time. You want it bad enough, bro, go do it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's this thing, man. It's this thing. Well, like if you want it, you have to be infusing it. You have to live it, breathe it, and it still might not happen.
Right.
You know, all I can say is there's nothing stopping you from making your own movie. There's nothing stopping you from making a splash on YouTube or whatever.
Right.
If if you're doing it for fame, you're never gonna make this, dog.
Mm.
You're never gonna make this. Ain't about fame. It's an inconvenience to be able to sit there with my family, have a dinner, and someone asks for a picture. That sucks a little. I respect it. I respect that they're the reason why I'm here, and I love that.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have a dinner and not have that happen, so I can enjoy myself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like fame to me is the only reason I enjoy it is because it gives me a bigger microphone to help inspire and motivate more veterans.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's all I want. Like give me that big microphone. Let me push guys in the better direction. Right. Let me get guys motivated, inspired, and let me get guys to counseling. Let me tell my story.
Yeah.
Save more lives.
Right.
That's what I respect from this. But in the end of the day, the acting, bro, don't come in here and tell me you can do my job when I've been training for this for years, dog. That's a smack in the face, homie. I'm gonna go tell a mechanic, let me change my oil better than you, bro. I don't even know what to start with that shit. Come on, man.
So
And
the last project that you're working on, or I mean, I don't know how much time you got.
you're good, bro. We're good.
All right, is the veteran project.
Yeah, Veteran is my company. I have a beautiful team behind it. Um, you know, we're trying these giveaway models. I don't know how successful we're going to be at this. We already have a plan B. If that don't work, we're going to start building out another option. But the veteran brand and moniker will stay, right? The veteran will be a thing, and it's really about, promoting a positive direction for veterans, kind of changing the cultural stigma, and as well as the culture in a whole, right? We raise veterans to be alcoholics, whether you like it or not, whether you believe that or not. Let's just go back and look at it, dude.
Right.
Right? This is what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm finishing up my bachelor's, working on my master's, hopefully going towards my doctorate. Right now, as we speak, I go to school, right? Because I'm tired. There's got to be more answers for us, dude. And if it has to be me, bro, it has to be me. Fine. But here's the thing: if you go check out the studies and the correlations between suicide ideation, alcohol, and post-traumatic stress, bro, go look that up. There's a white papers written on this that correlate the two. You have post-traumatic stress, you have TBI, and you have alcoholism. That is a suicide cocktail. And if you sit here and saying you want to save lives, hey, stop promoting alcoholism to people that are not ready for it, that are not mentally and emotionally, physically ready for it. I'm not saying stop drinking. I'm saying we need to get our men and women healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally before we can ever introduce alcohol to them, because alcohol right now is just it's a catapult to the worst day ever,
Yeah.
right? To the one thing we're all trying to stop. But
Mhm.
then we go, it's like, hey, let's get together and have a beer, have a coffee, dog, have a coffee, make sure they're good for a beer later, right? Like, see where they're at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
If they're healthy, cool, we'll try a beer. But as soon as you see they can't handle a beer because they're layering that on top of trauma and don't know how to answer that, and so they're just like doing the normal veteran thing, like let's drunk until it. Okay, no, that guy needs help, because if not, he's on the list of dudes that might commit suicide.
Mhm.
Bro, if people want to save lives, stop inviting dudes to drink. Coffee first. Let's see where they're at,
Hmm.
right? It's this thing, bro, that we do this to ourselves. All these tough guys, all these badass dudes out there that don't want to get counseling. Like,
Mm.
really, dog? Some of the dopest dudes I've ever known, multiple deployments, bad dudes, they don't get help because their friends in their community tell them it's weak. Because if you tell someone you're feeling a little emotional, all of a sudden you're not the badass dude that used to kick in doors and smoke dudes, right? Like, it's
Mhm.
this weird thing. We've done it to ourselves. I'm telling you right now, bro. I go to counseling. I've seen multiple different counselors, bro. There's a list of these dudes I see, right? And some I hate, some I love, some I get something from, some I don't. I've tried breathing techniques, this combat yoga. I'm doing everything I can to find answers, because if I could find the answers, I'm just going to hand it off to other veterans. Veteran is that, man. Veteran is, look, if you just think about the word itself, it's a promotion of a good view, right? It's positive. All these guys get out of the military and believing that they're going to commit suicide because society's telling them they are. We highlight the negative and not the positive. Tell me about all these successful veterans that never get a platform because positivity and success doesn't create shares.
Hmm.
Come on, dog. This
Right.
is our problem, bro. They shared. My mom, who knows me as a veteran, knows veterans commit suicide. I was like, I don't know. Right? That's what everyone wants to tell you. Now, do we have an epidemic and issue? Yes, we do. But like, is that all we're worth, and that's all our value is, and that's our only freaking thing that people want to identify us with? Bull crap, dude. We
Yeah.
should be the leaders of tomorrow. We should be the biggest leaders in our community. Who else? Bro, people pay money to follow these life coaches who are real estate agents, dog.
Yeah.
Real estate agents, the
Right.
dudes who made enough money to afford a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
There's no lies here, dog.
Nope.
But you don't follow a veteran who led men and women in combat in the most vital, vital version of leadership. Keep people alive,
Mhm.
dog. A leadership job that is life and literally death. I want to pick their brains.
Yep.
Those are the people I want to follow. What are the mindsets it took? What are the thought process? Why? Because there's a different thing of what we do. These guys who are getting paid as real estate agents are going to tell you all these things. They're essentially, if you go look at it, they're using military leadership styles.
Hmm.
You're gonna follow a real estate agent for that shit, dog? You know why? Because a guy figured out the marketing strategy to pull you in and suck you in and tell you
Right.
the right things. The guy who's putting you in the dirt, chained up with your buddy like a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Bro, it drives me crazy. This is this is my this is my call to action, dog, is these veterans should be leading the pack on this, bro. Duh, they are making millions off of something we've done. It doesn't make sense. We put ourselves in this box and say we're only good at this, and that is bullcrap. That's why there's very few of us in acting. That's why there are very few of us out there making these waves, because we've been put in this box and we believe it. And you got these guys with tons of money making tons more money off of us paying that monthly subscription to learn how to be a leader. Like, you led people in combat, bro. There's nothing more than that. These dudes don't lead the way that they should. They lead with as a tyrant because they've seen the movies and how drill sergeants yell at people, right?
Arlie Ermy.
Yeah. They lead what they think is leadership, bro. But you know what we lead with in the military, in which most people would probably never tell you this? And I know we're running long and I don't give a shit. Here we go.
Yes.
Leadership is love. Let's dissect it down to the root of this thing, bro. And when you lead soldiers in combat, you love them because you make the best decisions for them.
Yep.
Strip it down. There is no other. The truth is this: I wanted my soldiers to stay alive, and so I made decisions I knew was best for them because I love these kids.
Yep.
And the struggle with me coming home from combat was, how do I stop loving these dudes so I can go back and try to love my wife and kid? You know what I mean? And it was hard, bro, because sometimes I couldn't do it because those kids to me were just as important as my kids at home.
Yeah.
And the dichotomy of this is the truth is trying to separate the love of combat, which is life and death, the most intimate, there's nothing more than that. Life and death, bro, is the end of that's it.
Yeah, I talk about that. One of the most intimate things that we do, and we don't treat it as such, but it really is the buddy rush. Right. This is the most intimate moment. And this exercise is what creates that inseparable bond behind somebody else. Cover me while I move. Right. This is it. You're literally saying, I need
your microphone or mine?
Is there, I don't know.
Yeah, I have a little click, 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 tack. Good. Go ahead.
You're literally saying, I need you to protect my life. And I'm going to put my weapon down and you're going to cover me.
Yeah.
And for the next 3 seconds, my life is in your hands. And then what happens? Move, I got you covered.
Now my turn.
Now my turn. Come on, man. Come on.
Bro, come on. We should be showing people the essence of leadership. Not the bull crap, but the essence of it.
Yeah.
Why we do it. The love of our soldiers, our brothers, our sisters to the left. We need to show that love, dude. And when you tell a real tough guy that, like, leadership is love, they're like, ooh, that's ooh. Like, bro, man the fuck up. Come on. The truth is, that's all it is. And that's the same as parenting. We lead with love, dude. Why am I scared when my son gets hurt? Why do I get mad? Because I love the kid and I don't want to see him get hurt. And I get mad that he does that because it hurts me. Right? My kid falls and hits his knee. He cries like, "What are you doing? You know you shouldn't be doing that. Wear knee pads." I'm yelling at this dude even worse, right? Like, trauma came from me yelling at him for falling. He's like, "Bro, you should be hugging me." And I'm like, "No, because you made me feel weak. You made me feel out of control of a scenario that I try and control daily."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's this thing, man. I just think Veteran is really trying to push this, show these dudes success, show these dudes think outside this damn box that they put us in, right? Like, you can be anything. Look, if this dumb dude right here is an actor on television, you're going to be watching him every Tuesday night, right? This guy, this bonehead, bro, anybody can do anything, dog.
The thing is, anger, aggression, these are easy emotions.
Easy.
Right? These are easy. Love, compassion, empathy. That's where real courage comes from.
Bro,
that's hard.
I agree. That's, you know what makes me, and I say good actor, I believe in my skill sets as an actor. I haven't been able to show the world everything, but what's made me become more vulnerable in acting is being able to show those three. Empathy is so powerful, bro. Like that, I could sit here and cry in my bed all night thinking how bad I feel for everybody in this world. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel it. You feel it.
Yeah.
I feel love. Oh man, I am so connected more to how much potential trauma it is for my kids that I'm just not there for certain days, certain
Mm,
moments. You know what I mean? My daughter just won state champ of Utah, bro, and I wasn't there.
mm,
That's going to be on her head her whole life, and that'll be on mine. You
mm.
know what I'm saying? That's another one on the guilt. Like, ah, fuck. Right? Like, okay, that's another one. I'm gonna have to carry that one with me. And it is what it is, dog. It's part of life. But I love the fact that I can accept it and I can acknowledge it, because without that, bro, there was no growth in my world. And our dudes stopped growing. A lot of our dudes stopped growing. And that's where veteran is hopefully going to make a dent in that. We're developing programs. I work with counselors. I'm creating all these concepts that are hopefully going to be inspiring and motivating dudes to do more. Um, there's mentorship programs we're trying to get at. We're just really at the ground level of this, but there's so many things that I've done and I've learned that I want to bring to the table, and I have a team of dudes behind me doing it. And then you have the business side of it, is really just the revenue portion of just help funding what we're trying to do,
Yeah.
and we're giving away a truck, yeah, and we're probably going to lose our asses on that, yeah, and it'll be a learning curve for, like, okay, well, that doesn't work, let's try something different. And that's the reality of what I do. I have no fears and failure, bro. It's just it's kind of where I've gotten here. I've already failed so many times. It's like, but that's they say that failure is not failure. It's experience or learning or whatever
No,
the
it's
hell.
failure.
Yeah. I need it to be failure, right? Because that pushes me to find success, right?
Yeah.
Like that word failure, I'm okay with that word. And it's like, cool. Find a way to win.
Yeah.
Find those wins.
Dude, I got to tell you, I'm really inspired. And whatever I'm, consider me in. I'd love to help this. I think the initiative is so important, and really changing what so many people, you know, I don't. Veterans are not broken. And whenever people are like, oh, were you overseas? Like, yeah. Were you ever in combat and firefights? Like, yeah. Oh, are you okay?
Oh
Like,
yeah, their shoulders drop. Oh wow, sorry.
yeah.
Don't
Like,
feel sorry for me. Don't,
should I tell
don't,
you that shit was fucking awesome?
yeah, I feel sorry for you for paying that real estate agent how to lead, bro. You're paying this dude to put you through basic training, you weirdo. Locked up and Navy SEALs do this. Yeah, those are Navy SEAls. They're real dudes.
They're real dudes. Awesome, man.
Bro.
Yeah. So whatever, if you ever need anything, help with a promotion or whatever, just
Yeah, bro. For
I am
sure.
I am all in with you. So
Yeah, we'll stay connected, bro. We'll stay connected.
for sure. Anything else you want to tell the group before we
No,
take?
man. You know how it is. We'll be on Mayans MC. We start March 16th. We'll be on FX, and the next day Hulu. I would enjoy your support on that. Give a shout out whenever you see it on post. Throw up that Gilly, right? Like hashtag Gilly. Show that love. I'll show it back. This is a step in the right direction for the veteran community. I'm not just an actor on it. I'm also the tech advisor of the show. I've also helped with create some of the scenarios, and so we don't have too many veterans in Hollywood right now, and I'm hoping to get to a position where I'm able to tell more stories for us in the light that I believe deserve to be told, dude. And so I'm hopefully gonna help change Hollywood's mindset of us as broken. Instead, guys like me and others behind me just find success, dude.
Damn right. Awesome.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.